Okay, we'll give a couple more minutes for people to filter in, because there's always some bloody stragglers, but I have a document ready to make some notes on these here topics. I've also had some messages from people so far saying that they're not going to be able to attend today, which is fine, and they also sent me some things to say in their stead. I will say I'm Summer's #1 hater, but the one good aspect of it is that a bunch of my friends are growing strawberries, and because they get so many, they gave me a fucking tub of them, and they are so gas. Anyway. They're all like so sweet, it's unreal. Anyway, I guess we'll do this little intro thingy-majig. Basically, for anyone that has not been here before, actually, yeah, I'll leave it until like for another minute or so, because I imagine there's going to be a fair few filtering in. I'm also going to preemptively grab the messages I was sent. Coming to this one first. So there we go. You, so I can keep track of the cues. I actually tried I made Wagyu beef burgers for the first time today, and they were actually really fucking good. Ugh. I am like an enjoyer of strawberries. Like sometimes I'll grab like a punnet of them from like the shop, but sometimes I like if there is a bowl of strawberries in front of me, I will annihilate them, much like I'm probably going to this entire tub over the next couple days. Right. So, basically, for anyone that's not been here before, how this is going to work is either I will present a topic, or if the person that posted the topic in the community meetings channel is here, they will present it. From there, anyone can really say anything, but once someone starts responding to the topic, or if you just want to slide your foot right in the door right away, you'll just put a Q in chat like this, uppercase, lowercase, I don't really care, as long as you get it in there, and then I will hopefully notice it and note it down, and then we can have a nice orderly discussion. Though there are some little flexibilities and stuff for if people want to like directly address certain points or things like that, but structured, unstructured is, I guess, the best way to think about this lovely little slice of chaos. But anyway, first couple of topics all come from a big Dave, but I think we'll probably do what we usually do and go through the topics of people that are here first and people that are not here afterwards. So, as I stare down at Sarge, it seems like you're our first topic that has the person actually here. There's some topics I've kind of slammed together because they're like about very similar things. Well,
I am incognito here. I just haven't changed my name.
Thank God.
I don't know how to do that. God damn it.
Oh wait, are you Big Dave, Mr. Regal
Unfortunately, yes.
Ah, okay, right. Well, I mean, your topics, I imagine they'll be pretty like cut and dry.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was kind of discussed after, it was brought up. So that link kind of takes it to the discussion where, I guess, RIP Matt, but the staff opinions on it are kind of stated, and I don't see why anyone would necessarily disagree. I mean, if you're gonna post stories in the Discord where there's like new people and you're worried about meta, and then you're kind of like doing it to yourself, if you know what I mean. Oh, I didn't actually say what the fucking topic was. I don't know if you want.
It's just a recent trend of posting screenshots of Reddit stories on the public Discord.
Yeah, pretty much.
Grab
Like if
that
you're
link actually, and put that in
like
the document.
traditionally stories are, supposed to be on the Reddit, which is obviously a whitelist only benefit. And the share content channel is kind of there for non-whitelist people to put stories, as far as I understand it, if they want to, and help them in their whitelist application. Mostly because some of the deep and interesting stories might be, they might be hijacked by people not necessarily used to the community and how it works. I don't know. I don't really have anything to say, to be honest. I mean, if anyone else wants to talk about it, I'm more than welcome.
Yeah, if anyone else wants to say anything on this, then go ahead. But if it seems like a pretty open and shut case, if we've already got a link where staff are talking about it, that's quite authoritative, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to move on to you've got another topic as well, talking about Reddit flares. I don't know if that was also addressed in prior discussion, but
Not really, because there seems to be talking to other people, there seemed to be a bit of a split in the community as how the flares were understood. Like some people took the story OOC to be like from the point of view storytelling from out of character, and some people took it how I believe it's meant to be taken, which is the information in this story is only to be used out of character or in character. Also, the Reddit flares seem a bit fucked up at the moment, and I can't adjust it. I don't know if that's being worked on, or I don't know. Anyway,
some more specifics would help.
So the IC and OOC story tags on Reddit. Some people understood like an IC tag to be the story is written from the perspective of in character, right? So it's the person telling the story from a first person perspective, rather than the information in this story can be taken in character.
Well, short of writing a paragraph in the flare, what could we do to fix that?
Just make people aware of it. Like, I guess clarify which one is correct and have it in the community notes and tell people to look at it.
Yeah, I think that is maybe something that we'll leave to the community. We have a wiki, we have newcomer threads and things like that. This information could easily go on there rather than us trying to make it more prescriptive.
Yeah, I don't think there's an issue with what the tag is. It's more like what's the correct way, like what is the correct way to understand these tags and tell people about it. Right?
You also said the Reddit flares were quote fucked up.
They seem buggy.
Okay, well, yeah, that's probably Reddit then.
I know it's a known issue, but it seems to have happened ever since the Livonia flares were added. Like I can't change it once I've written the story, and if I'm accessing it from the PC website on my phone, I can't even select it when I'm writing the story.
I'll have a look while I'm sitting here.
Right.
I know there's been an issue with the Reddit flares on mobile. It seems to work fine on desktop. So if you do have to write your stories, I would suggest posting them on desktop and using the Reddit flare. I've been going through and changing them manually when I see them coming up as like the blank just story or whatever.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that we do actually curate the flares somewhat. If we see someone evidently posting something with the wrong flare, we'll just change it.
Cool. Appreciate it.
all right. If we're through with this topic, then we can move on to the next one. Which, Doc, you are up. Doc/Sarge. At least I think you're Doc and Sarge.
Well, yeah. gotta pull it up here. Hang on. So I'm trying to remember the exact instance that caused me to bring that up, but I think it's just bringing up some awareness for just a lot of new players and a lot of these new groups that have been springing up in the since the start of the year, really going back even further. But apologize, I got a bit of a cold today. But I think there was like one specific example I remember, a group announcement, and there was a lot of messaging in there, and a lot of it was like around, who previously lived there, and kind of making jokes about it, and like saying good luck or stuff like that. And well, it's all kind of lighthearted and not meant to be seen as them trying to bully or harass this new group. I don't think some of these new members or new members of the community are going to see it that way always. I want to say the specific example I'm thinking of. I think they just quit playing, or I don't even know if they even started. Just I remember their group post just got spammed with a bunch of messages. Which it's fair enough. What they were doing probably was going to end up what people were saying in that thread. However, let them figure that out in game. I think just being more conscious about, even when it's lighthearted, kind of joking in a lot of the Discord, trying not to be, I guess, too meta with it, even though if it's not like serious, could directly impact right off the bat meta. But just, the new players aren't probably going to have that context. Yeah, definitely want to try to keep those that are here to be a good part of the community sticking around and not getting discouraged right off the bat.
Well, first of all, does anyone else have anything to say on that? Because I think how us long-lived Doug players treat newcomers has definitely been a topic at previous community meetings. I remember, maybe not in the same context, but I've definitely seen my fair share of people that will come into question and answers, especially before the Ask an Admin channel was brought in. And someone would ask a pretty, fair question, especially for someone that's very new to Dog or very new to DayZ in general, and they would get dog piled on by so many fucking people, basically calling them fucking idiots.
I don't know if that's been as much of an issue as of late. I guess more so what the point of mine was just to bring more awareness to more like the in-game, out-of-games type stuff. Because like a lot of what I've seen is, referencing stuff that obviously people that have been around are going to know, but something that new people, don't want to try to discourage them. Let them just play it out. Let them play the game and play Doug and get to have it organically happen to them, figure it out as they go. I think it can be a little too meta within the Discord, and for some of the new people, I think that could, like I said, discourage them or potentially, kill kind of the spark that really got me into Doug, was like this mystery of it all and getting to find it out, figure it all out while I'm playing.
I think that's quite well put, actually. Go ahead, Big Dave.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Doc. I mean, I know the example you're talking about, and I agree with you. But I think part of that problem was with the recent popularity. There's been kind of groups come here with preconceived intentions about what they want to do, which isn't necessarily a problem. But when you make them so public like that and kind of stomp all over the existing lore of the server and advertise it, it's not well perceived by the community at large. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but we shouldn't be bashing them into Discord. I mean, regardless, the same outcome very well could happen in character or in game, but let that happen in game.
Yeah,
rather
but
than them getting discouraged before it even, and to stop playing before it even happens.
Someone hasn't necessarily even played the server and they're saying, I've lived in this town for many years and done all these things. It's like someone needs to nudge them in the right way rather than the wrong way then, I guess, yeah.
Go ahead, Paul.
So what I'm hearing from Dave and Dr. So what Dave's saying is like, sometimes we kind of want to discourage certain people, and the impression of the incidents that you're all talking about was the general impression was these people had come in without any effort to learn about the server or the lore, and just hadn't even bothered to look at the map. And had decided this is who we are and what we're going to do, and had their own history imprinted on top. And that to a lot of people was representative of an influx of players who haven't really had Doug at heart. And I think Dave's saying sometimes we want to nip that in the bud early, so it's okay to be able to dishearten this type of people. If that's true or not, I don't know. I think that's what we're getting at, really.
I think I think groups, of course, like the server has had quite an influx in like popularity recently, especially with like streams, videos. Like a lot more people out with the Doug circle have become quite aware of what's going on Doug. But I think there is definitely a degree of like we should let people experience things for themselves. Like your example, Paul, of like a group coming in and just like immediately like crudely and crassly planting their flag and be like, this is who we are, this is what we do. I think there's kind of a charm to that almost, and that they'll be so determined, they'll try and do this thing, and then maybe it'll blow up in their face, and then maybe they'll quit the server. Maybe they'll be like, okay, how do we adapting to the land and like learning from it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it would be brilliant. You know, let them try it. Let them try it. That's the beauty of it. The territories and so on is not, you know, it's man-made, isn't it? It's player-made, so anyone can challenge that. You know, but, I'm just saying. I think that's what that one issue was indicative of a feeling that was growing about some of the caliber of certain new members, and I think that thread was kind of people expressing how they felt about, you know, not everybody coming into Doug with the best intentions.
That
Yeah, I
is
guess
also true. Yeah.
the point, and I typed it out. The point I guess I'm just really trying to make is, whether or not they're coming in with good or bad intentions to begin with, I'd rather those intentions have the consequences happen in the game rather than in the Discord. And you know, if it's toxic, if it's not right for the community and they're breaking rules or it goes against what, you know, what players are to be expected to hold themselves to, then, you know, they'll get handled in that sort of way too, on the staff side. So, you know, it should in theory play itself out all organically most of the time.
I didn't suggest this publicly, but I was wondering if perhaps the group and faction requirements should be stickied on that recruitment Discord thing, just to kind of give something for new people to read if they were interested in that.
I can do that, potentially.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, just having more basically like ways that you can direct people, and it's like, hi, I want to join a group, hi, I want to make a group. You can just be like, go here, look at this, read this, learn, rather than people having to explain or direct people to God knows where.
Especially the part about etiquette and stuff. Yeah, it's really good to read. Cool.
And then that way, especially if, I mean, they already had to like dig through the rules to get the password, but like that way, especially if they're being like a group and they're being shitters, for want of a better term, then you can just point to them and be like, well, it's right there, and you didn't read it. It's not like you have to go far. Holding groups to high standards and shit like that. Ah. Well, does anyone else have anything to say on this topic? Because I feel like we've got pretty good handle on it. I'm also going to note that we're going to look into getting the group and faction requirements pinned in the groups and faction recruitment channel. Okay. I think the following few topics. Okay, let me just, I can't do two things at once because my brain will explode. I'm just going to write this thing down, and then we will move on to the next topic. The rest of the topics I've been told... well, I know that Carter's not going to be able to attend, and they've sent me a message that I can relay. And I've also got a message from Billy, who has also told me, like, basically what his point was. So I am going to write this thing down before my head explodes. Okay, right. So, our next topic is from Carter, who's not coming. And I have a message from them that I clicked away from because I'm stupid. As for my discussion topic, which is opinions on Summer Churnaris, I just wanted to voice others to voice what they thought about Summer Churnaris, and in my own opinion, I'm not the greatest fan of it. When looking in the distance, everything meshes together, making it look like clay, or it just won't properly render the foliage on trees, making it very barren. Go ahead, Guantanamo Groove. Sick name, by the way.
I appreciate it, man. So I was just saying that, or not saying, sorry, I was thinking that I agree that it looks different, but it also, the performance issues that is, like the leak that the more you play on the summer map, the worse it gets. And I think that all that stuff doesn't, like, it's not worth the, just having a different weather, right? And it's not like, at least in the summer, not in the summer, in the winter map, everything's colder and, makes it a little harder. But in my opinion, the summer map, it's like, it's not that much different from like fall or spring, right? Like it's you play pretty similar, at least I do. And so I feel like you don't get that many benefits as opposed to, just having it look a little different.
Curious to hear other people's thoughts on Summer Churnaris. I'm seeing a lot of mixed things. Go ahead, Big Dave.
I like the map mostly because I came from a server that had seasons, although it wasn't this version of Summer Churnaris, it was like an older version. But one option that could be taken is just to change the temperature and keep the standard map, like imitate the effect of hotter weather and having to adjust clothes and stuff for it, I guess. You wanted to try and keep it seasonal.
That is an approach to take, I think. Yeah, just adapting the temperature as you go throughout the year. If people, I guess it also means that we're. I don't know if I can't remember if you're like forced to wipe if you're swapping the maps. I'm pretty sure we have like swapped from say Winter Churnaris to regular Churnaris before. That was a while ago though, and I think we also swapped from that like early late fall Churnaris to full on snowy winter one. But
yeah, as far as I know, we don't have to wipe switching maps. The only reason why we would have to was the stash issue, I think, on Winter Churnaris.
I remember hearing about that, yeah. So, I think having seasons be a bit more of like an under the hood thing, where you just kind of like tweak the temperature numbers and have like, I think it's like done by like whatever month or whatever the game thinks it's in, so tweak with that, mess with that for like the time of year, and I think that also just it also like means less like juggling around of the different mods we've got on the server. You're just like, oh god, do I need this Summer Churnaris map or this Winter Churnaris map or this early fall, late summer? Just less mods on the server, less things that we need to wait to get fixed by that are out of our control. Because obviously, Doug modders will be doing their Doug mod things, but if we're held up waiting for some critical issue getting fixed in Winter Churnaris, then we're just kind of like stuck up shit creek without a paddle, and there's nothing we can do about it. The winter, I mean, it's pretty good. The winter, like vibes. I think that late fall, early winter map is actually really cool, having almost a sort of Sakal look to it. Well, if we're just focusing on summer, then we could just have temperatures increase in the summer, but stay on the normal map. Go ahead, Doc. If you're speaking, we can't hear you.
God damn it!
There you go.
I was talking that whole time. No, I think Bagman mentioned memory leaks too, which is something I've brought up and kind of talked about in the past in just the Discord, but figure in the good way to let people know right now. what I've been doing is just clearing my shader cache every like week, like once a week, basically. Because after like 4 or 5 days, I start to notice, the FPS slowly going down, like now 10 or 20 FPS on average. No, not unplayable at that point yet. But basically, just keep clearing that has really solved a lot of the big issues I was having right at the start. So I would highly recommend everybody try to figure out do that. NVIDIA, it's just in the control panel, and you just turn it off, restart your PC, and re-enable it and set it to whatever you want it to be. But I'm not sure about AMD cards.
So that was clearing your shader cache, you said?
Yeah, that
Alright,
has
okay.
significantly helped for me at least.
That's NVIDIA Profile Inspector, was it you said, or some other thing?
So NVIDIA, you just the NVIDIA control panel,
Alright.
and it's like in the manage 3D settings. There's a shaders cache option. You literally just disable it, restart your PC, and then re-enable it. That should normally clear it.
All right, noted. I guess if anyone is knowledgeable on like AMD cards and how you would clear your shader cache for AMD cards, let me know and I can try and put some like another like little blurb in the notes here. For anyone that's got AMD stuff, I'll just bracket this Intel only. Oh shit, wrong bit.
I'll DM you later too. There's a couple other small tweaks I did, but maybe nice to have like a little guide kind of for people that are having troubles.
Yeah, I'll be putting it in the like meeting notes, but obviously if you want to, it could be good to just have like a thing even pinned in like questions and answers or something. And you can just kind of tap the sign whenever people are like, "Oh, I'm having performance issues." You can just be like, "Look at this, try this, see if it works."
Yeah,
Through Google.
exactly.
I only use Yahoo. Well, at least you're not asking those fucking AI like all those like so many fucking people do. Why ask ChatGPT when fucking Google exists, man? Ask Jeeves. Oh my god, that's a name I've not heard in a long time. Okay, so next topic is I've kind of slammed two topics together from myself and Colt. I don't know if Colt is here currently, but I can obviously take on the topic. Right. So, this topic is two combined, and it is basically what are people's thoughts on the recently announced Livonia Underground server that is going to be sort of coming soon TM after priority queue gets sorted out. I'm just curious of what people are hoping to see and what staff are hoping to see from the community. Like what thresholds being met, I guess, will determine whether or not Lug is a success or a failure. And I'm also stapling Colt's topic on top of this one. Discuss some of what Lug administration and support will look like when the time comes. For example, group and faction support, requirements and benefits, how the CCE will fit into Lug, amongst any other moving parts I suppose we have in this gigantic fucking server. If anyone has any points they'd like to raise, questions they'd like to pose, then absolutely go ahead. But of course, I guess especially for some of this stuff, I'll be kind of like poking Joe with a stick, and I'll be taking notes furiously. I guess we can just start with the one of the first ones I'd posed. Like, when Lug launches, whenever the hell that'll be, what would it take for you to consider it a success or a failure? Obviously, we've had, if people haven't seen, Diesel in the Lug general chat did say that, like, basically if performance issues continue after priority queue is implemented in Lug releases, and it is found that it is due to, like, Lug's existence, then it will be deprioritized and possibly shut down. But
You're asking what our sort of success criteria are for Lug?
Yes.
I mean, I don't think any of us are going to pretend that we think Lug is going to be above or perhaps even equal to the Chernara server in terms of our priorities, but I think we want to give it a more honest go than it got last time in terms of trying to facilitate people starting groups and telling stories on there. So I guess failure looks like an empty server, or an empty server that is causing performance issues on Chernarus. And anything more than that, we'll just see how we go, I guess.
I saw someone had queued. It was Miles, Smalldorf. You can go ahead.
Hello?
I heard you, but you're very quiet. Incredibly
Sorry.
quiet.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Still not much better.
Oh, okay. Well, I think Livonia, as long as it's like the other person said, as long as it has like a good population and it doesn't hinder the Charnaris map, I think it would be good. And like having another storyline would be quite interesting in some ways.
We're not going to have a separate staff team for Lug. That's just not realistic. But we're going to be a little bit more in tune with it in terms of how we moderate it. Let's just say.
Okay.
As for faction and group representation, yes. If you start a group on Lug, you're eligible for group status, and if you're eligible for group status, you can apply for factions. Are there any expectations about having a separate or shared timeline? We would like people not to hop back and forth on the same characters. In terms of timelines, Doug has never been prescriptive about timelines. We've always left that to the community to tell it themselves. And many people have different versions, their own sort of headcanon, and we really don't want to get in the way of that.
I believe Guantanamo Groove is next. Go ahead.
So I was just wondering, because you know the modified loot that is in the currently Doug has through the CCLE, so you have to put a lot more time right into Doug specifically to get, I guess, far. And I'm concerned because, not concerned, but my thought process, and I don't know if anyone else is at the same, is it's gonna be because I don't want to miss out on Lug or Doug, right? I feel like it's gonna be hard for me to choose one or the other, and I don't want to stay on Doug just because I have more on Doug, which, you know what I mean. And me specifically, I don't have too much, but I feel like other people could fall into that same thing. And so I was just wondering, like, how would we get around that in terms of making it to where you don't have to what's it called? Yeah, just to like, yeah. I'm sorry, yeah.
The question, as far as I could understand, is will Lug have a Doug-like CLE? And if it does, are we concerned that that's going to get in the way of people enjoying it? It will have a sort of Doug-like custom CLE, yeah. It's not going to be the same as Chernarus. Diesel is working on a completely separate loot economy for Livonia. I don't really have any concerns about people not being able to commit to both. I've seen how much all of you play this game. If you want to play both servers, I'm sure most of you will find time, and if you don't, that's also okay. It's a game. You got to play it how you want.
Any other points that people... Any other questions you want to pester Joe with? well, I guess, Joe, do you have anything you'd like to say? I guess statements on, I guess, just like lug in general, for the community.
Look, I mean, I'll speak about it from my perspective as a player, because I think that's probably more interesting actually than my perspective as staff. Because anything you'd want to hear, I probably won't tell you, because I just want to wait until it's out. My perspective as a player is I am going to play a separate character in a separate group on Lug. I'm going to enjoy exploring it. I'm going to enjoy playing it for those shorter play sessions where I feel like it's not worth my time to get on Doug if there's a queue, or if perhaps less of my friends are playing on there. And yeah, I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is. Obviously, we all want to see it do well. I know a lot of the staff are going to be investing time in it personally as players to try and kickstart it a little bit. But ultimately, its success is down to everyone else. If you guys play it, and if other people, maybe some new members to the community play it, then I'm sure it'll be a success.
And I'd say that probably wraps that up quite nicely. Okay, we have our final 2 topics. If anyone has anything they'd like to get their final things in for that last one, then go ahead now. But otherwise, we have 2 topics from Billy, who messaged me saying that he's unable to attend. And I will pull up his message, but I don't think he really said that much. It was more or less just... he was just like, yeah, please discuss my topics, smile. So, discuss how we can ensure the shoutouts in the shoutouts channel are not providing meta information. I know this was previously worded differently and was discussed in members general. If anyone has anything else they'd like to say on it now, then by all means. Or if staff, which I guess means Joe, has anything.
Yeah, I mean, Matt's here, but it's pretty much me. I'm
Yeah.
just going to say, look, guys, it's already a rule to not meta in Discord. If I see you metaing in shoutouts, or if I see you just posting dumb shit in there, really, which does happen quite a bit, and, maybe even some people in this channel post dumb shit in there, then I'm just going to remove it, and hopefully that's it. That channel is meant to be just a positivity space, like for people to be nice to each other. And it's a bit of a shame that we need to moderate it heavily. Like, or there's even discussions about moderating it, but there you go.
Right, and now the next... Oh, Doc, go ahead.
Dave, I'm sorry. I am fully in favor of just get rid of it. I think there's been plenty of good use out of it, and I do think it's good for new members of the community to be able to see, all of, being able to recognize some of these people, especially that you just run into, never met, and these random interactions. But it does become convoluted, and there's just too much OOC in there constantly every day. And honestly, in my opinion, I think it's way better to DM somebody after you had an interaction with them and, directly tell them, hey, great job. I think right now, the way it is, it's almost like
Being devil's advocate,
like,
what
I
if
don't
you
know.
don't know who that person is? How are you going to reach them?
How are you gonna do that in the Doug Shoutout if you don't know who they are anyway?
Well, you just launch a message into the void, don't you? And if they read it, then great.
That's, I guess, what I would use Doug General for in that case.
Big Dave, you're next in queue.
I think if you get rid of it, it's still going to happen, just like on the dark discords of all the factions, and it's much better having it out in the open where it can be moderated.
Well, I think the way it is right now, at least this information is partitioned. And frankly, guys, if you don't want to read potentially meta info, you can just mute the channel.
Exactly.
Guantanamo Groove, you're up.
I think it's just good for yeah, there is the meta aspect of it, and that someone could abuse it. But I think that there's more potential in showing people that, because I see a lot of people in the chat talking about the KOS and how they're upset that you're not getting that many interactions. And I think looking at the Doug Shoutout channel would encourage them to try to keep going and interact more.
Yeah, I feel like Oh, go ahead, Harvey.
Yeah, just leave it. Simple as that. It doesn't do any harm. It's nice to see some people, acknowledging others. Sometimes it would be nice if it was for something more interesting than just like, hey, we ran into a town and we talked and walked away. But yeah, it's better than nothing. And if you're worried about meta, mute it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it can be moderated, and obviously if, like, staff see anything that's like, oh, hey, thanks for, like, a great interaction when we did this and this at such a place, it can just be, like, deleted by staff, like, jump on it. But yeah, just keep it vague. And obviously, as Joe said, if you don't want to engage with it, mute the channel. Okay, our final topic, which is of a similar vein, assuming we've got no further final things to say about this whole thing, which speak now or forever hold your wished. Right. Next topic is also from Billy. Remove drip check. It is unnecessary and leads to meta. I feel like this is... That is also a good point from Sarge. Knowing OOC information is very different than acting on it. But that is also true. You can't unlearn something. Like once like information becomes known, you can't just snap your fingers and exile it from your brain, unfortunately. That point from Ben as well is actually a pretty good one, because there's all kinds of like media that gets put out there in Doug Discord or even on the Reddit, and if you're seeing people in videos and seeing people, I guess drip check is something that you can it's just something that you can choose to engage with, like all other content that you'll see.
Yeah, I mean, look, I will choose not to share my opinions on drip check. I'm sure you can all fill in the blanks, but you can just be like me and never look at it.
And if you are also conscious of having your appearance metaed after, I think the specific example that Sean used was like, you kill someone, you run into drip check, and then, oh, there's the person I killed. You can just not post your drip in there. So if you're conscious of like your appearance being metaed and that being used in that way, you can just not engage with the channel. Oh god, don't remind me of the dark days of the East versus West war, where you'd see someone just post. There'd be some big fight, and then you'd see someone post in the fucking channel like, "Oh, haha, look at my drip," and they're wearing a fucking plate carrier with a freshly acquired foul in their hands. Go ahead, Harvey.
Yeah, obviously that happens a lot, and lately admins have been dealing with it. So if somebody's posting something that's clearly toxic, DM an admin.
Pretty much. Go ahead, Peruvian.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we should delay drip check, because if you delay drip check, you will have to delay screenshots, dark screenshots, because hey, you see a screenshot with a lot of people uh on a place that you might have died, so that's also meta. Uh, at the end, I think it's your decision to meta or not, and if you don't want to see anything, just don't see it.
The argument for deleting drip check because it's vapid and boring is a lot stronger than deleting it for meta.
That's also kind of true, yeah. It's like meta, but it's meta that people tend to willingly participate in. So it's like you're like almost opting in to it if you're posting your appearance in there. It's like clicking a little tick thing to be like, are you okay with us taking your data, cookies or whatever when you go on a website? It's like if you say yes, you can take my data and sell it to brokers or whatever, then that's on you, I suppose. Yeah, the point isn't it being boring. That's just a reference statement that Joe made. Just being like, meta's not really that much of a problem here. It's more of... it has other issues, subjectively. Right. Well, that is actually our final topic. So if there are no further topics that anyone wants to bring up impromptu, or no further other suggestions people have, then you are all dismissed. I don't know if... I mean, I know sometimes we do this whole, like, oh, have you got anything that staff wants to say to the community or something, but I've kind of, like, poked you with a stick. I think we've been conclusively poked with a stick and shaken for everything we could get. So, if not, then fair.
Just behave yourselves. Don't eat yellow snow. Cryo is being worked on.
Yes.
That's all I can really tell you.
Okay. Quoting that, behave, don't eat yellow snow, prio soon TM. Right. You are all hereby dismissed. I'm going to stop the recording and get this fucking thing uploaded. Shouldn't take long though, never does. And I'll get these notes posted over to... I think 586 words. Wow. It's a pretty quick meeting. Hold on, let me